welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Experience with Queen Eddie, and if you're here for the first time, what we do here is we basically talk about my experiences and I try to let you in on some aspects of my life. And yes, if you've been coming back again and again, I want to say thank you, and I'm loving up on you as always. So today we will be talking about something very interesting. It's a topic that you probably are conversant with, but I'm going to be sharing that with you from a different perspective, so stay tuned. While there are those who are busy going about and living their lives intentionally, there are still people who are wondering what it really means to live an intentional life. And for me, I feel that being intentional is just about taking your life one step at a time. Being intentional simply means being mindful of your thoughts, of your actions, and your decisions. It also means being deliberate and purposeful about your dealings, and that encompasses your dealings with God, with yourself, with men, and with the environment. I would also like to add that being intentional is a mental location where you get to assess your actions and inactions based on your core values and your life's purpose. And living intentionally is about being clear about where you are going to, how you are getting there, and setting clear actions that guide every step that you take. Living intentionally is about putting the effort into defining the details and putting the details into manifesting the effort. This would basically help you know if you are on the path of being intentional. The first thing to look out for is that you cultivate a high level of self-awareness. You set and live by high standards and great values. You also get to prioritize your daily actions and try as much as possible to eliminate distractions. That way to know that you are actually being intentional is when you cultivate and nurse the ability to organize your life, like every detail of your life. You're open to speak to people and receive advice and correction. Guys, it is difficult to think of something and not think of how it benefits you. So wondering how being intentional about your life would actually benefit you is one of those things. It improves your life positively, like you just see yourself moving in a positive trajectory. It improves your mental health, your finances, your emotional health. Being intentional, guys, it brings clarity and helps you make more informed decisions. It improves your productivity, helps you manage your time, helps you to be more result oriented. It just generally makes you a better person. Every now and then and here and there, there's always an obstacle we're trying to deal with in order to achieve something. And guys, making the effort to live intentionally is not any different. Things that can impede you from living an intentional life, guys, are self-doubt, fear, pressure, perfectionism, less-mindedness, and not putting in the effort. For you to overcome these obstacles, you simply have to do the opposite, like switch the clock. And by that I mean begin to practice self-belief. Self-belief is a concept that shows that you accept and you are happy about the things that God have imbued in you, your gifts, your talents, your abilities, even the ones you haven't discovered yet. Eliminate perfectionism. You really can't be perfect in everything. Rather, embrace excellence. Even when you make a mistake, it forms a part of your learning process, and that shows that yes, you are actually on the right path, because when you make a mistake, you can learn from it. Avoid unnecessary pressure. Define your pressure. Sometimes pressures are positive and sometimes it can be negative. Eliminate the negative ones and embrace the positive ones. The positive ones have a way of pushing you forward in the direction which you want to go. So that thing is to become more minded. They are the opposite of less minded, right? Pay more attention to yourself, to your environment, and the things within your control. Don't become too familiar with things that you lose your sense of self-awareness. Become more self-aware. Remind yourself every day that you've got to be intentional even when you don't feel like. And lastly, constantly reassure yourself of your possibilities if only you decided to be more intentional about your life. So we've come to the end of this video, but before I close, I would just like to share some strategies with you guys on how to be more intentional. And I'm sure that you saw how the video transition went with my makeup, and that was just me showing you a simple and fun way of being intentional. Really, one is to set measurable goals. Establish a daily routine which you can follow, and sometimes you can have a routine that is flexible enough, to change. It doesn't have to be, oh, this particular routine every time. Yes, it's a routine, but it should be flexible. Make a vision board for yourself. From time to time, declutter your space. Try to get things off your space, things that you don't need. When you try to declutter your space, you have more clarity about your life and about your environment. Make deliberate spending choices. One thing to know what works for you and to do it prudently. Monitor your mental health and ensure that you are doing the things that keeps you positive, alive, and energetic, and even enthusiastic. Phil is an elderly person of over 70 years, and gosh, it was so inspiring to see that he still, made himself available to volunteer. Well, I had a conversation with him and asked him what lessons young people can learn from him about living an intentional life. And he was like, being positive about things, having a plan, even if you don't get to follow the entire plan, but at least have something, that gives you direction. Try to be pleasant all the time, even when people are not being pleasant to you, but keep a positive demeanor and just be happy. That way you realize that your life is actually simpler and easier. Be involved in things, and not just being involved for the sake of being involved or making Instagram, but be involved and find purpose in whatever you were involved in. Gosh. Guys, I hope this isn't just another video content on my YouTube. I hope that this truly inspires you. We've come to the end of this video. I would like to hear from you. If there's anything you're doing to live an intentional life, please feel free to drop it in the comment section. Probably some other people can learn from you, and even I myself can learn from you. Remember to subscribe, like my video, and share my content. Thank you guys for stopping by. I look forward to seeing you again in my next video. This is Experience with Queen Eddie, a place for all things experience. Bye bye.